And so welcome to Career Interviews. My name is Dashay Williams, and I'm here with my special guest, Stacia Carey, today. We're going to dive into her background, professional journey, and a lot more during this interview today. So let's get straight to it. Starting off, Stacia, can you give us a basic thing about your background, where you came from, how you grew up?
Yes, first I want to say hello and thank you for having me. My name is Stacia Carey. I grew up in Cleveland, Ohio, born and raised. Came from a single parent home. Kind of went back and forth between Ohio and Michigan. My dad was from Detroit, Michigan, so I would go back and forth between the two. Um, yeah, I would just say I really don't know what much more to say. Just that I came from a single parent home. Seen her struggle, but seen her also make something out of herself. And I just strive to be like her every day. Um, right now, I'm in Greece playing. This would be my fourth year. And yeah, I'm just here to share my journey and everything that I've been through.
Definitely. So, like growing up in Cleveland, did you have any like dreams or aspirations, kind of what you wanted to do when you grew up? Was there anyone around you who influenced you?
So I think my biggest thing, I watched a lot of detective shows and stuff like that. Since a kid, I've always wanted to be a forensic science. That was my goal. That was my dream. Unfortunately, I didn't go down that road just because the school that I went to didn't offer certain things, so I had to kind of change what I went into. But it was forensic science, and it wasn't because of somebody around me. It was just because I watched so much TV, not so much TV, but a lot of the FBI shows and the crime investigation shows. So yeah, that was pretty much my. I had no idea I was going to go into basketball at all, at all. So yeah, that was kind of my thing growing up.
Yeah, kind of when you said that, that reminded me just advice in general. You want to go into forensics, but the school didn't have it. I know I got into that same situation in
Mhm.
general. Like for both of us to even give advice on that topic, would you go to a school based on educational background now that you like made it through life? Or would you still stick on the path to follow your career dreams on like the better, maybe basketball institution?
Yeah, knowing what I know now, I think I don't know. It's kind of hard because like during the time, like I was definitely basketball, basketball, basketball. Like once I got into sports and basketball, like that's what I knew. That's what I wanted to do. That was my peace. That was everything. Like it just brought so much peace to me. So I was definitely basketball oriented. Even though I really loved and I really wanted to go into forensics. Um, I don't think I would have changed it necessarily because I was successful in basketball and I enjoyed it and I enjoyed my route and everything. But I do look back on it and I'm like, dang, like what if I would have went to a school for what I wanted to go into forensics? Like what would that have looked like? How would my journey be now if I instead of chasing my basketball dreams, I would chase my education dreams. So I don't know. I don't know if I would say I would change it. Um, but I definitely would have liked to see what that looked like now for sure.
Yeah, I think that's an interesting one for athletes in general. Sometimes it just shows you
Yeah.
that you're not alone. Definitely a lot of athletes face that. Do I go to Stanford and receive the education? But they also have a good basketball program. Sometimes it's hard to like, get the education and be a top dominant like institution on both ends. So kudos to
Yeah.
the you have, both. There are athletes who struggle to find.
But you know who did that though? My was it Maya Moore who she accomplished basketball and
Mhm.
became this great basketball and accomplished a lot, but also she ended up following her dream of becoming, I don't know if it was a lawyer. I didn't really read too much into it, but I know she was like helping people get out of prisons and stuff like that. Like, and I think that is just so cool that she was able to just kind of switch that flip or flip that switch. I think that was so cool. And sometimes I think about like, dang, like life after basketball, do I still want to like, is forensics a possibility for me? Or am I going to go ahead and continue on? I don't want to say the norm, but like being a coach or You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I think about that a lot, and I don't really necessarily have a decision now, but it is on my mind all the time for sure.
Definitely, I'm glad you brought that up because Maya Moore, that's a great, honestly, story
Mm,
because she did dominate in the world of sports, and when she did stop, it kind of shocked everyone. Like you have so
yeah,
much more to go in you,
yeah,
but she wanted to pursue. Like I did everything I could do for the game of
yeah,
basketball what I wanted to do, and now she's helping out everyone else. So I thought that was really inspiring for top athletes
yeah.
in general, any athlete to like look forward to. Like basketball can only go so far, and we do
Right,
eventually move on. So it's kind of like preparing ourselves to move on the game of basketball. And that's a huge thing
right,
that a lot of athletes face. Like you said, coaching is like usually what the stream kind of leads to. Everyone wants to go into coaching regardless. It's high school, want to be a college coach. Something is
yeah,
all on the line of staying. That's our comfort zone. We know the game. That's like the
yeah.
easiest. So we get into like your background for when you went to school, what did you start taking up instead of the forensics? What did you go to school for?
So I ended up going into criminal justice, which was still along my path. It wasn't necessarily what I wanted, but it was still something I was interested in. Um, I really like it. I still like it. Like that is something that I can see myself still to this day getting into. I think forensics, I would have to go back and do more schooling, which I don't necessarily schooling. Let me tell you, I did what I needed to do, and I was done. I did my 5 years. I'm done. So I don't know. Forensics is just gonna have to be on the side, but criminal justice is what I went into, and then I've looked into a couple of different things, and it still interests me, and it still pulls me. Sometimes I'm like, dang, I think I'm ready to give up basketball because I'm ready to start my career or whatever. Um, but I don't know. I'm gonna see. I still really enjoy basketball, but I'm still watching FBI every day. I'm still watching El Chapo every day. So we'll see how it goes. I don't know.
Yeah, so leading off of that, just in general, after the game of basketball, first, like how long do you kind of see yourself still pursuing the sports, an amount of years? And then after that, what do you see yourself kind of doing, or what would you like to get into once you do decide to hang up those shoes?
Whew. So for me, I basketball, I love basketball. I don't know if I'm necessarily in love with it like I used to be. And that's okay. I feel like I've done everything that I've needed to do. I feel like I've accomplished a lot that I didn't even, as a young girl, I would have never thought in a million years I would even be in Greece.
Yeah.
Like a small girl from this little old tiny city in Ohio, Illyria, and I made it all the way to Greece. I made it all the way to Switzerland. So I've accomplished a lot, and I'm okay. I've experienced a lot. I've met so many great people. I've played on some great teams. I've played on some bad teams. I've experienced so much. Um, but as far as like continuing, I know a lot of people would be like 10 more years, 8 more years, such a great player. I'm ready to kind of settle down. I'm ready to start my life. I'm ready to start my family. I'm ready to be back around my family. I've been gone for so long. So, I'm just ready for that. So I would say probably about 2 or 3 years, honestly. 2 or 3 years. And I'm okay. That's something that I'm okay with.
And
That's something that I went back and forth with. I wouldn't even say I went back and forth with. Like I just woke up and I was like, I think I got about 2 or 3 more years in me, and I'm okay with that. Perfectly fine with it.
I think it's a different experience as well. Like women's basketball to men's on top, like you said, you
Wait,
want to start your life. And if we do want to have children, we have to like
yeah,
factor in a lot of things that go into
yeah,
career. A lot of WNBA players, when they do have a baby, don't return or they can't,
yeah,
they're pushed out. The roster spots are only so big. So I think
yeah,
that factors in to our longevity of the game. Compared to men, they don't have to sit out those 9 months or 12 months. Like they have a lot more kind of freedom to move and continue on during their career.
yeah,
I mean, we do have that
yeah.
time on. So that's a huge part that I didn't think of prior to, but that's also something to know. So kind of diving into, your experience. I know you did Rutgers University, but what school did you attend before Rutgers?
So I went to University of Pittsburgh for 2 years. I ended up transferring to Rutgers, and I did 3 years at Rutgers, so 5 years total. Um, both great situations, both were really good schools, really, really good schools. I've met amazing, when I say I've met so many amazing people throughout my journey, like I've met so many amazing people, so many great connections. Um, yeah, I'm really satisfied with how my journey went. And honestly, like I said before, growing up, I really didn't even know what college was, to be honest. I didn't know what college was. I didn't really understand the importance of scholarships, and I didn't know that. I didn't know anything until I got involved with like AAU, and my AAU coach was scholarship, basketball, college. Growing up, we didn't really talk about no college like that. But once I got into the basketball world, it really did. It really changed my life. It really opened me up to a lot of different opportunities. It opened my mind up to a lot of things that I didn't even know about. So yeah, I was blessed to be able to go to two schools.
Yeah,
And
so kind of being that you
yeah,
did schools, what was like the transfer like experience like? You kind of grew 2 years with one team, and then now you have
yeah.
to, and you're going into a new space. So, how was that experience for you?
Um, honestly, it was. It wasn't. I think I'm pretty uh, good at adapting to different situations. I've always been like that. Of course, I started off a little shy. Um, But I feel like the people there, the coaching staff, the supporting staff were very friendly, and they helped me just kind of transition over. Especially as a freshman coming in, this is your first time like really away from home, by yourself, on your own, trying to figure everything out. Um, and then like going to Rutgers, it was okay. Well, this is my third year, so it's not as scary as it would be my freshman year. Just got to learn a whole new team. This isn't the same girls I've been spending my time with for the past 2 years. This is a whole new set. I got to learn different names. I got to learn different personalities. I got to learn the Rutgers way now.
That's a
And it
different,
was hard. It was fun. It
definitely.
was tough. It was exciting. And I did it.
You did.
3 years. 3 years.
Just to feed off of that, and talking about the Rutgers way, do you have any stories or experiences talking about, legendary Hall of Fame coach C. Vivian Stringer? What she's done for the women's game has been tremendous. And
Man, that woman has done so much. And that was another thing. Just being able to play for a Black woman that's in the Hall of Fame, that's won multiple titles, that's been to multiple NCAA appearances. Like that is so legendary. And to say I actually played for her, got to know her, got to speak to her on a daily, got to take in a lot of that knowledge is like insane. Like sometimes I still am like, what the hell? Like, but it's amazing. I don't know. I think the one thing that stuck with me throughout my time with Coach Stringer was just she would always tell us to never bow down, never bow your head down
yeah,
to anybody. Like she didn't care who it was. When you stand in the room, you be the tallest one standing in that room.
hmm
Make your presence known. Like she was very keen on all of that, especially as a Black woman. As a what man, Coach Stringer has taught me so much. Like just like little life lessons, big life lessons, everything. Like I just appreciate her so much for giving me the opportunity to even step on her court, the C Vivian court, because that's what it is, the C Vivian court.
definitely is. Yeah, I would say the same thing. She teaches you beyond the game of basketball. Goes way beyond
Mm-hmm.
lessons, how to be a woman, like you said, how to present ourselves. When you show up in the room, show up, no, I ain't shy, we're here. So it's a
Yep.
lot of lessons that she did give, even prayers before our meals. It was a lot of family, definitely genuine good times being at Rutgers.
Yeah.
And then as far as professional life, how was that transition from leaving Rutgers to going overseas? Were you nervous to be a part of a new team once again, but not even that, but people are speaking different languages now?
Yeah. I would definitely say it was kind of a scary moment. It wasn't scary in the sense of like being away from my family because I feel like I've been gone for so long. I'm used to like coming in and out, and they're used to it too. Um, but being there's a difference between being away from your family in the states and then being away from your family across the world. Like that is really crazy because you can't just hop on a flight and you can't just hop in the car. You can't just hop on the train and get to your mom, get to your dad, get to your sisters, your siblings. You can't do that. Um, so there were definitely challenges. I can say the thing about me is I like my alone time. So it wasn't super hard. Um, my first year, I was around two or three other Americans. So I was able to communicate with other people. Obviously, the people around us did speak English, but it wasn't like me and you communicating. You have to talk a little bit slower. You can't use slang. You can't, there's certain things that you can and can't do when you're talking to someone whose native language is French, but they've learned English,
Yep,
but they learned super proper English.
exactly.
So, it was a challenge, but it wasn't something that was like impossible.
Okay. And then
Never.
in general, because you say, it wasn't necessarily like being away from your family was an issue, but like the mental health, what goes into that? Like, how were you? Were you ever like felt extra lonely sometimes, or what do
Yeah.
you do to cope with like feelings of loneliness or just empty?
Yeah, so I think for me, I fortunately have been put in a lot of situations where there are other people around me. Where like we could hang with each other a couple days out the week and we had each other to lean on. There was one time that I felt like my mental health was really tested, like really tested. I was the only American on the team. I didn't know any of the other Americans around. I didn't know how far they were from me. I just didn't really know. So I would just stay to myself all the time. And at the time, I really leaned on my boyfriend, well, my ex, who was my boyfriend at the time, um, his support and just being able to communicate with him and like, my mom calling, my cousins calling. But there was a time where my mom would call and she was like, this is not, you're not okay.
Mm.
Like, this is not the station I know. And I'm like, dang, my mom can notice that something is wrong with me.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's hard because, again, like I said, I didn't know anybody, how far anybody was in the area. I didn't know any of the girls' names to try to reach out to anybody. Um, and there would be days where I would just try to go like do a spa day for myself. But even after that spa day, it was still like, I don't want to do this by myself. Like I really wanted a friend to go with, just somebody to kick it with and be able to relate to. That's not necessarily my Hungarian teammates or even just being able to see somebody that looks like me, my
Yeah.
skin color, my hair texture.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So
So it's a lot of challenges being, overseas that's just thrown in compared to like being here in the States and having like the opportunity to even be close to home, even if you're not close to home, the opportunity to fly to home,
yeah,
like. And as far as like I want to dive into your journey, is there anything that stands out to you as like one of your proudest moments of being an athlete?
one of my proudest moments of being an athlete. Um, I would say one of my proudest moments of being an athlete. One would be making it to the WNCA tournament the WMCA, the NCAA tournament. My freshman year, because I had no idea. I really didn't even know, like, even though I grew up watching it, I didn't realize how important it was. So making it as a freshman was like insane to me. Like the atmosphere, and we didn't go far. We went second or third round, I don't know. But I'm still thinking like, dang, I'm a kid from Ohio that's in Pittsburgh at a tournament, at an NCAA tournament. Like, this is insane. Um, Secondly, just seeing how all my hard work has gotten me this far. Like now I'm in Greece. I started off in Pittsburgh, went over to Jersey. Now I'm in Greece.
All from the game of
This is my
basketball.
off of the game of basketball.
It takes you a lot of places. So I'm very thankful for that too. In general, you get to travel and experience a lot of new things that you probably never would have. Even by
Yeah,
you're playing teams in different states you never thought you'd go. Like you played Nebraska. Never in my life
yeah,
I ever end up in the state of Nebraska.
yeah.
Wisconsin takes you to different places that we get to experience from where we came from. And then any like triumphs, like what stand out to you as like a biggest challenge that you had? Like what was it could be any part of your journey from high school to college to even being overseas. Like what was your biggest challenge?
Um, I would say my biggest challenge would be maybe taking on like the main leader role, because I've always been looked at as a leader or whatever, but I was always able to get away from not necessarily being the main leader because I've always had other people around me. I always had other people that I could kind of hide behind if I wanted to. Um, and right now I'm in a situation where it's no, Stacia, you're the leader. They're watching you. You're the one with the most experience. You're the highest paid. You're this, you're that. You're the best one on the court. And it freaked me out. I'm not gonna lie. It freaked me out because I'm not used to that. Like I'm used to people watching me, but I can still do whatever I want. Now it's all eyes on you. And it's been challenging. There's times where I don't even feel like being a leader. There's times where I wake up and I don't want to talk to anybody. Do you know day one of me being on this team, the coach is asking me about plays. What you asking me about plays for? You the coach. Like, so I had to really like take some time and think like, dang, like this is really your team. You're really going to have to step up and like you're calling shots basically. You're a player, but you're a coach,
I mean,
and they're looking up.
yeah, kudos to you for stepping into a role like that. 'Cause like you said, when there are days when you don't want to wake up and lead a team and then they're looking at you to lead, you still have to step up to the position. You got to show up, still smile, and be that leader that they're looking for. So definitely, I
Yep.
think that's something like mentally that you have to just be strong for. And then my last question I kind of want to end this off with would be, what is the advice you would give to young athletes, say in high school? Say we're talking to a group of 20 young women looking to pursue college scholarships, maybe professional after that. What advice would you give them?
Don't take anything for granted. Enjoy the moment because at the end of the day, all you're going to have left is the memories. And that's something that my AAU coach, who's a huge mentor in my life, used to tell us. And at the time, like when I was younger, I didn't really understand why he keep saying that, why he keep saying that. Enjoy the moment because at the end of the day, all you're gonna have left is the memories. And we're still all in a group chat. It's been over 10 years since we played with each other, and still to this day, he sends us like all types of things. And sometimes I'm just sitting there like, wow, like this is what he meant when he said, all we have are the memories. Like he's sending us pictures from when we're in high school.
Yeah.
Baby, I graduated high school in 2014. It's about to be 2024. So I see those pictures. I'm like, wow, I remember when this happened. I remember when that happened. Oh my God, look at this. Like that's really what it is, the memories. And the time flies so fast. So just literally don't rush it. Listen to those coaches. I ain't saying they always gonna be right, because they not. But I guarantee you they're not trying to steer you in the wrong direction. I promise you. They're just trying to get you prepared for the next level, honestly. And I'm so thankful for those who were able to get me to this level, because baby, it was a long journey. It was a long, hard journey.
I know exactly what you're talking about for sure. I just want to say,
Yeah.
thank you for just sharing your experience and your journey with us. And like, we appreciate it. And we just wish you continued success in your professional and your life journey. So, thank you for joining us here at Mentor Social on our career interviews.
Thank you for having me.